Alright, welcome. Hello. Episode 27 of the Take It With a Grain of Sand podcast. I am your host, Mickey P, with
Ricky P.
And boy oh boy, do we have a show for you. But first, I want to preface this episode with an apology for the last episode.
Yeah.
It's something I said. Now, I didn't realize it at the time. I said something a little out of touch. You know what I'm referring to, Ricky?
Not much.
Well, we did the next door segment in the last episode, and the guy got his backpack stolen. I said, why are you spending, why do you go to the dollar store so much? Why don't you just buy more? Now, I've come to learn that this was very out of touch. Because not everyone can afford to buy more at a time. I forgot about this. There's some people that get paid in very small increments, like some people get paid daily.
Okay.
So you might not have enough to get what you need, to get a lot of stuff at once.
Yeah.
That's why I apologize for all the people out there that are hardworking and can't buy, can't go buy a large quantity, at Walmart, of drinks or whatever the guy was getting every day or however often he was going,
Yeah.
All the people out there that's like that, I guess I was a little bit privileged because I'll just go and, I only get groceries every other week. So I go up there and I buy a whole bunch of stuff at once.
Yeah.
Because that's how I'm paid. Yep. Well, enough of that. Let's get into the segments. We've only got 2. No, we got 3.
Yeah, 3.
We ended up doing 3. Our plan was 2, but we ended up doing 3. What were they, Ricky?
Okay. Let me bring it back a segment. 2. SpongeBob album review, and a little bit of another unique review, but I don't want to spoil it here.
Yep.
So, without further ado, let's get started with the first segment.
Ricky, last Saturday we had a really good time.
Yeah, I do agree.
We're not really going places, people. We're homebodies. That's what they call it. But last Saturday, we were out.
Oh, yeah.
Let me fill y'all in on what we did. The company that I work for had an awards banquet last Saturday from when we're recording this. And boy, it was an event. I mean, I've told the story before about some of the bad things that have happened in my company. If you haven't heard it, last March there was a layoff all of a sudden. And I don't know if I shared on the podcast, but just this past January, there was another layoff. So morale has been kind of low. People not knowing if they're gonna have jobs or not.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of concern, a lot of worry from people. So I think that this was a big part of, making people feel like things are still good. And things are turning around, profits are up. We had a big banquet. So, let's break down what happened at the banquet. I want to start with the very beginning, after I RSVP'd us, the prepping just ourselves. I can't even imagine how much it took to put on the banquet. It took so much just to prepare myself. I mean, weeks in advance, I had to order all these things I needed. I needed a dress. I needed shoes. I needed makeup. All these things I had to buy. And then I don't even wear makeup. So then I had to practice putting on makeup in advance so that I would know what to do. Because I didn't want to be playing around the day of. I wanted to look good.
Yeah.
So then I had to deal with that. I had to do my nails. I do my own nails, by the way. And so that was a lot of work the day before. Ricky, what was your prep?
Yeah, my purpose is to get a tux.
Yeah, you rented a tux.
I rented it probably a week before,
Mm-hmm.
and then it arrived uh at the store in like Lincoln Mall. I forgot the name of it, but I had to actually go up there. It was Wednesday when it was actually delivered.
Yeah. So it was like we had to do so many things in advance. Honestly, the amount of preparation I did was longer than the event even was.
Oh.
It took so long. Okay, so then let's fast forward to the day of. You know, I don't know if we've mentioned on the podcast, you and I go to the same barber.
Oh, yeah, we have.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah.
So we needed haircuts. So we go down there. Our appointments were at different times. They were really far apart. Mine was first. It was at like 10 o'clock in the morning. I go down there. It was normal. Got my hair cut. And then for Ricky's appointment, we went down there. I dropped him off. But then I was sitting there waiting. It took so long. And so I was just sitting there waiting. What took so long? Ricky? It was like an hour.
Well, first it was actually a person before me.
Mm, yeah. And that doesn't usually happen. Usually our barber's ready to go when we show up. But he must have been behind because you were right on time.
Yeah.
So there shouldn't have been anyone. But so now I'm sitting there. I was just in my car watching YouTube videos, just killing time, playing games, whatever. And then Ricky calls me saying he's done. I was gonna drive up. I was parked really far back since I was just gonna be sitting there waiting for so long. So then he called me saying he was ready. I was gonna go pull up to the door. We were gonna go back to the house and get ready.
Yes.
But man, oh man, the universe had other plans for me in that moment
Yeah.
because I was ready to go drive up to the door, and what? My car doesn't start.
Mm.
I didn't know what was going on. I turned the key 2 times. It was just working. And then it just did not start. And I didn't know what was going on. And luckily for me, so then I called Ricky and I told him just come to the car. You're just gonna have to walk through the parking lot because my car's not starting. And so then to my avail, there was a guy that I had noticed like 2 spaces over that he was just sitting there too. He was sitting in his truck with his dog. And I had noticed it. I thought it was weird. But then like as soon as I turned the key 2 times and my car wasn't starting, he came out and he was like holding up jumper cables. He was like, you like, you want some help?
Wow.
And I was like, yes, that's when I rolled down the window and I was like, yes, please help. This guy, he had me pop the hood and he jumped my car and it was all set. So whoever that guy is, if you're listening, a big thank you. I thanked you in person, but I would like to thank you again because it would have taken hours for AAA to show up and help me. So jumper cable Batman, shout out
Mm.
because he was right there and he helped me out right then when I needed it. So then, um, should I tell the Taco Bell story?
Nah, I don't really think that's going.
Now I've teased it.
Oh God.
Okay, so real quick, before this, after my haircut, but before Ricky's, I went to the Taco Bell in the area and I pulled up to the window and it was an automated voice that went off. And so, and I was like, it asked me if I wanted whatever their item is right now. And I said no. And I started ordering. I placed my order. I didn't hear anyone talk, but I sat there a few minutes. No one spoke. Then I pulled up to the window and I just sat there for several minutes. Honestly, I'm so patient. It might have been 20 minutes I was in this drive-through. It might have been much longer than I think because I'll just sit there and wait. I really wasn't in a hurry, so I just sat there and waited. So then finally some kid showed up. He was like, I don't know, 16, 17. He showed up and he was like, "Where did you come from? What was your order?" Who, when did you order? I was like, yeah, I just ordered. He said, did you order online? I was like, no, I just ordered right now on the drive-through. He said, how long have you been waiting? And I knew he knew how long I was waiting. They got timers on drive-throughs. He knew how
Yeah.
long I was sitting there. And then he was like, I'm sorry, I didn't take your order. Would you like to order now?
Yeah.
I was like, yes, I would like to order. So yeah, there was that fiasco, and then the next fiasco. Oh, and to apologize for my long wait, he gave me a bunch of free taco coupons that ended up being expired. So
Well,
appreciate that.
yeah.
All right, so then let's cut to the banquet. So it's all that prep, hair, makeup, nails, clothes, all of that stuff. Let's say that's all done. We drive down there. It was at the Virginia Beach Convention Center, not too far away. So then we arrived there, and it was still kind of early. People were still mingling in. Cocktail hour was just starting, not quite started.
Yeah.
It was like right before that when we showed up. So we just sat there and watched to see what people were doing, and we were glad, right, Ricky? Because there
Yeah.
was two sets of doors, and people were walking up to the one that was not it,
Yeah.
and then having to walk across. So we knew exactly what door to go to, because we were sitting there watching what other people were doing.
Yeah.
So that worked out. And then we go in. It was cocktail hour. There was I think they were serving drinks. We didn't get drinks at that point, but they were serving them. They had like hors d'oeuvres. They had little egg rolls, chicken kebabs.
Yeah.
They had some other stuff. We didn't want to fill up on that though. We were waiting for dinner.
Yeah.
So we had some little snacks. And then we went into the banquet hall. Oh, and on our way into the building, we passed right by the CEO. I've never seen the CEO in person before, actually.
Wow.
So that was kind of cool to see what he looked like. He was shorter than I imagined. I imagined him taller. But then we went into, it was like 30 minutes we were hanging out in there. Oh yeah, and there was no security.
No.
We didn't have to go through any metal detectors. We just kind of walked in like anyone could.
Yeah.
I mean, there were cops around, but that's really reactionary when there was no preventative measure. So, like, if something popped off, the response time would have been quick, but there was nothing preventing anything from popping off.
Yeah.
A little bit troubling considering all the bad things that happened. Like, I mean, easily a disgruntled worker could have showed up and shot up the place.
Yeah. It happened.
Yeah, but it didn't. It didn't. No, this had been a completely different story. Maybe a more interesting one.
Yes.
Okay, and then so then we go into the banquet hall. They had buffets, different buffet setups. We didn't eat all of it. There was like four setups. We only went to two of them.
Yeah.
They had this delicious roast beef. It was getting freshly cut right in front of us. Hot roast beef with mashed potatoes and rolls and broccoli or
Uh.
something.
Oh yeah. And I think I actually seen some like pasta prior.
There was a pasta stand, and but we went to the roast beef, and then we ate that. We were still kind of peckish, so we went into the taco line. They had street tacos.
Yeah.
It was strange. We should have got more roast beef. I didn't really like the
Mm.
tacos. They
No.
was like weird tacos.
Yeah, they put fruit in
There
it.
was fruit in it. I took a bite and I was like, this is a pineapple. I ain't never had no taco with fruit in it. Besides tomatoes. Tomatoes are fruit. I've had tacos with tomatoes.
Uh.
I've never had a taco with a pineapple in it. I think there was a honeydew melon. I don't know. It was a bunch of fruit and it was like cold.
Yeah.
It was cold fruit mixed with my hot. chicken taco. I don't know. It was a really strange. I don't know. I didn't like that so much. But then it was time for the awards. They announced a bunch of awards to various members of the different locations that were there. The people who worked in there's branches in a branch. The corporate office is in Norfolk, and then there's a branch in Hampton. So those people were also there.
Yeah.
They announced a bunch of various awards from people who work at either one of those locations. Um, that took like what 30 minutes, 30, 45.
Yeah, around that
It
time.
wasn't like super long, but what I thought was funny was that for every category, most of the categories, they had a bunch of winners. They had a bunch of names, especially the first few. And they told us, please hold your applause until all the names have been read. And yet, every time
Yeah.
someone said a name, everybody started clapping.
Yeah.
I was like, y'all
Like
can't
what?
follow directions. And they said it after every category. I was like, can y'all not hear? Y'all don't
Uh,
understand what was said. We're supposed to clap at the end.
yeah.
They're gonna tell us when to clap. They're gonna tell us to give everybody a round of applause. That's when you clap
Yeah.
because they want to read the names faster. We're gonna be sitting here longer if you clap after every name. That's what they were trying to do. They were trying to go through it faster, but people kept clapping after every name, so then you couldn't hear the next name. They had to wait a second to say the next name because people were doing a round of applause after every name. But it was like they couldn't help themselves if it was a name they knew. It's like they couldn't help but cheer.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't know what was going on, but that made the awards take longer than they would have if the directions had been followed. But of course, people.
Yeah.
So then, what was the next portion of the night? That's when
Uh,
the night really heated up.
yes.
This is where things got good. So once the boring awards part was over, that's when people were like kind of freshening up, and then it was time for the second half of the evening, the games.
Yes.
So this is where um there was a lot of different options, several fun options for us to do. If we had stayed downstairs, I think they were doing bingo, and then they were
Yeah.
doing trivia night,
Yeah.
and we didn't do that. We went upstairs where they had this room with where we started out at with there were like casino games,
Yeah.
and there were these big arcade machines,
Yeah.
free free arcade machines. You did not have to put a
Yeah.
quarter in. And there was the VR game, which Ricky played.
Yeah, I did.
Why don't you speak on that, Ricky? Had
Ah,
you ever done VR before?
kinda, but not into that type. Ah, like I've seen the game before on YouTube. I just can't really think of the game.
Wasn't it just that game
Mm.
when you swipe your arms at the colors?
Yeah, and then there's actually music in the background, and you're supposed to actually swipe the boxes to the beat of the song.
But you know what's funny is that like ahead of the event, when they were talking about what was going to happen, one of the items on the list was VR experience. That's what they called it. But it didn't sound like much of it. Like, I thought it was going to be some really crazy thing, but no, it's just
Mm,
the standard game that everybody's playing.
yes.
I thought it was going to be some crazy experience, and no, it's just that swiping game. Um, which is not a bad thing. I guess that's kind of cool. I didn't do it because I didn't want to mess up my makeup. And I also didn't really want to put on someone else's VR headset. I didn't see the guy wipe it down or anything.
Uh,
Seems like in a post-COVID world, it would have been disinfected.
yeah.
But you put it on, you're fine. So I guess it was all right. It was a week ago. If you were going to be sick, you would have been sick by now. So it's probably fine. But yeah, and then we got into the incredibly long line for drinks. Man, that line was long. It was just this one girl, though, doing all the work. That's why the line was so long.
Yeah, it wasn't really divided into like two.
They should have had at least one more person working it. All the drink, there were multiple drink lines, but they were all long.
Yeah,
Like it seemed like just one person handling all of it. They could have had at least one. They needed one more person at every stand. Honestly, instead, why have multiple lines? You could just have one line that's moving faster.
yeah,
They could have had someone that was working their own stand go over to a different stand and had two people working at it. And then they could have, have someone taking the orders and taking the. We had drink tickets because the drinks were free. You got two free drinks a person.
yeah,
They could have had someone taking tickets, taking orders, and then someone just mixing drinks really fast. I don't know. I think we could have because the drink that we had soda in it. And she's sitting there popping cans, and I'm like, we could have had someone else standing there popping the cans for you, and then you could make the drinks faster.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean that's something for them to think about next time. But then we got these blue drinks. I don't remember what they Starry Night.
yeah. It was
Some
mixed with
it was something like, but it had a starry soda in it, and the blue. I don't know how to pronounce that word. The C. I don't know. It's that blue stuff that they put into mixed drinks.
yeah,
You know. So then we had that, and then we went to the dance floor, and man, the dance floor was crazy. They
yes,
had that light up floor
yeah,
doing all kinds of colors.
yeah. Dance floor.
They had the light up dance floor. And the DJ was playing like real music. I thought it was gonna be like, like at weddings where they do the cha-cha slide and the what's that other one? The cubic
Uh,
shuffle,
yeah, I not
that
want
kind of
that.
stuff.
Uh,
That's not what this DJ was playing. The DJ was playing real music.
yeah, really good
I
music.
was shocked. There was a few songs out there that I actually really like.
Yeah, me too.
I was very surprised. I mean, they were all in the clean version since it was a work event, obviously. But at least, I mean, that's better than what we were expecting.
Yeah,
So that was fun. There was people were dancing. Um, we didn't dance. We were wall huggers.
yeah,
We just kind of stood there and observed and sipped. And that was about it. And we were in there for a good little while. Like all these things are taking a lot longer than what it sounds like. Like this was like hours into the event. Um, so yeah, by this point, it's probably like 10 o'clock. It was pretty late.
yeah.
So then we were kind of done. It was like 10:30. So then we went down to the first floor. We went back down to the first floor and took some more pictures. There was a really good background where no one was around.
Yes.
So we took some more pictures and then we were out of there. Yeah, that was the banquet.
All right.
It was a lot of fun overall. If I could give my final thoughts on the banquet, it was a lot of fun. We had a great time. It was more than I was expecting because I had been to one other banquet. Apparently, this is a tradition with my company. They've been doing it for years, every year. Around February, March, they do it. But then there was COVID, so this was the first one since COVID.
Yeah.
They had been still doing awards every year. It was just virtual. It was on the computer. The CEO, our old CEO, he just announced them like over Zoom or whatever. And it's just not that much fun. It's
No.
not really any fun at all, honestly. So like the fact that they did this was crazy. And it was a lot of fun. We had a great night. What do you think, Ricky?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All in all,
Yeah.
even with the hiccups, it was a nice time.
Really nice. And welcome back to another segment that we haven't done in a while, which is called Album Review.
What album are we reviewing today, Ricky?
American Dreams by 21 Savage.
We're kind of late to this one. I'm pretty sure this came out in like January.
Yeah,
It's not brand new.
no, it's a recent album.
It is recent. So now that it's been out for a while, though, you've probably heard it if you're a 21 Savage fan.
Oh yeah,
So
definitely.
there's no spoilers.
Yeah,
So let's break it down. How about first we give our overall opinion, and then we'll talk about individual songs. What do you think, Ricky?
yeah. To me, it's kind of more or less a mixed bag. There were some bangers, but
Hmm.
then there's just like uh, the one song that was just like kind of mid.
I'm talking about overall.
That's what I was
Did
saying.
you like the album?
Again, it's kind of a mixed feeling. I'll put it I like a six.
That's pretty low.
Oh,
60 is a failing grade.
I like yeah, around the 6 to 6.5.
Ugh, I thought it was much better than that. I'd give it like an 8. I thought it was a pretty great album.
Mm.
It's not one of my favorite albums of all time, but I think as a hip hop album, it was pretty good. Let's break it down.
Uh,
So, the first song is not a song. The first track is American Dream. It's an
it's an intro.
it's an intro. I think it's of his mom, I'm assuming. It's a British woman speaking. Um, I think it's his mom talking about motherhood and whatnot.
Yeah.
And, you know, standard intro, whatever. The next track is All of Me, as very low plays compared to some of the other songs. Not the lowest,
Mm.
but lower. Honestly, I didn't even write anything down about this one. I didn't really like it so much. Did you like All of Me?
It's a kind of mid.
The next song is Red Drum. That was one of my
Oh yeah.
favorites. I really enjoyed Red Drum.
Yeah.
That actually became one of his top songs on Spotify.
Yeah,
It's really popular.
the beat was actually really good.
Beat was great. I really enjoyed that one. Um, let's see here. Then we've got NHIE
Oh yeah, and this one,
featuring Doja
Doja
Cat.
Cat. I never really expected a 21 Savage and Doja Cat collab.
Me
Ever.
neither. They're so different. I don't really listen to Doja Cat. I don't, I see why she's popular, but I don't really like her baby voice.
I like a couple of her songs.
It's not for me.
Oh yeah.
Her singing style is just not really what I like to hear. She does like I can't try to do it. Doja Cat. I don't know. I can't. I
Yeah.
can't. I can't do an impression. But what I thought was funny about that song is that she kept saying ad lib as the ad.
Yes.
She was saying ad lib out loud as the ad lib, which is something I've never heard before. She did something different.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that?
No.
Usually you just ad lib. You don't say ad lib. It was like a narration. Or maybe you know what it sounded like when sometimes when artists do like a place filler in their songs.
Yeah.
Like they get a beat and they're trying to figure out like how they want to put it together. So then they'll just record a little placeholder that they re-record later. So you might like it's something that I have done previously myself where I just say this is the second verse. The second verse is here. Something
Yeah.
like that. Then you come back with lyrics. That's what this sounded like. It sounded like she's going ad lib and like she was gonna come back later and put an ad lib in. But
Yeah.
no, that's the record. That just ended up being the record. So she's saying ad lib in the song.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. No, that must have been intentional. I mean, this wasn't like some rinky dink like little artist. Like this is a 21 Savage song. I doubt that he left that in by accident.
No.
So, It was just something different that Doja decided to do. Her ad lib is ad lib. Very interesting. Um, Something I noticed over a lot of these songs was the R&B samples.
Oh, there was a lot.
A lot of
Uh,
songs I recognized from R&B. They
we-
were just like they were sped up, so they had like mouse voices. But yeah, there were some R&B samples in here. It kind of reminded me of Jack Harlow's album. I mean, he does a lot of R&B samples, but this is better. It's like what Jack Harlow was doing, but better.
yes.
I found it to be more tasteful and more palatable from 21 Savage. And then we get down to another one of my I like this one better than Red Drums, Sneaky.
Mm,
Sneaky was my favorite one.
nah.
You didn't like Sneaky?
Nah, he just kind of sounded a bit generic.
It
But
was a
no,
banger.
I can, like, it's like the beat of it,
It
and
was
at the lyrics,
hard. Every
nah,
time
it
you
was
blink,
not.
it'd be sneaky. I like that.
Nah.
It was so catchy. I could see this being like one of his next big songs. I think this one's gonna grow in pop. Right now, it's not the least popular. It's kind of just in there. It's not the most popular, but it's definitely not the least. I think people are really enjoying that one. I really liked it. I've been listening to that a lot ever since I first heard this album. I think it's a really great. I think it's a good song.
Mm,
Should we go through all of them? The next one was with Young Thug and produced by Metro Boomin. Several of the songs on here were produced by Metro Boomin.
which, yeah, it could honestly tell. He's really good
Yeah.
producer.
Yeah, you can tell in Metro Boomin's style. I mean, he's iconic. He's iconic in hip hop. And you know when Metro Boomin comes on, it's gonna be a great beat,
Yes.
no matter what's on top of it. Whose verse, whose voice, it really doesn't matter. You're gonna get a good beat from Metro Boomin.
Mm.
So several of the songs for that.
Yeah, but this one in particular, there was, it was good. Thugger did his thing on it,
Yeah.
just like 21 did. But there was just actually just one line that was actually in the chorus that it just kind of ruined the song for me.
I don't remember.
Nah, you know, it smelled like gas. I think somebody that
Yeah, he goes,
that
it smelled
nah
like gas. I think somebody pooped. He says
that
that multiple
that yeah
times.
that's just it's like that line just kind of ruined it for me a
I
little bit.
that was so corny.
Yes.
I completely forgot about that.
But like overall,
Um,
it's like if he actually took that part out, song would be perfect.
it smelled like gas. I bet somebody pooped. Like that song pops off and like people like go to parties and clubs and they're singing this as a
No.
group. It smells like gas. I think somebody pooped.
Mm,
That's hilarious. Oh man, you know, 21. He's something else. Okay. Let's see. I don't know. I wasn't crazy about the rest of it. There was also a feature by Travis Scott.
second favorite.
That was pretty good. Um, then features by people I don't know. I know Mickey Echo is popular. I think he's the guy that did this song with Rihanna. He did a song with Rihanna like a long time ago, and now I can't. It's escaping me what song that was called.
Mm,
It was really popular, but
uh,
yeah, really good singer. There's some more R&B samples. There were some classical music samples as well.
yeah, yeah,
A lot of that.
yeah, there was a pattern of that happening in the intros a lot.
Mm-hmm. A lot of classes. I think that's becoming really big. I mean, it's kind of been around. You hear classical, you might not even notice it, but a lot of hip hop and pop music is sampled from old, like it's so old it's public domain
Yes.
music. From like so it's over 100 years old. That's when public domain happens. So it's like they'll use stuff like that because it's free.
Yeah.
You can just take that. Anyone can, and you can profit from it. It's totally legal. So we're gonna be hearing a lot more of that. And then 100 years from now, people will be sampling 21 Savage probably.
Yeah. Mm.
And that's something interesting to think about. Like how Seven Rings by Ariana Grande,
Yeah.
like that the tune of that. I don't know if it's 100 years old, but it was from Mary Poppins. Where a ring, ain't gonna be no misses. It's like a
Mm.
I don't remember the actual words from the Mary Poppins song, but like that's where she got that from. Whole bunch of examples of that. So I was not surprised to hear that here. It's becoming a very popular thing. It's been it. Um, I don't know. And then some people I didn't even know like who was Summer Walker.
Oh yeah, that's a. I don't know if she's an R&B singer or not, but her and 21 were actually on an Usher song called "Good Good."
Oh, okay. Do you know who Brent Fayez is? Fayez? I don't even know.
Nah, I don't know.
Should have worn a bonnet. That was kind of funny. Her weaves, it was like her weaves something. She should have worn her bonnet. Her weave was still, I don't remember the lyrics, but it was something like that. She should have worn her bonnet. Do you know who Burna Boy is?
I've heard that name.
I don't even know. Tommy Newport,
Nope, never heard of that. Mm.
Mariah the Scientist.
First off, what is that name?
I don't know. But I remember that's the very last song on the album. It was very R&B. It was a slower tempo. I think 21's kind of bridging into this R&B era that Jack Harlow has already been in. Like he's been kind of doing like a hip hop R&B kind of thing lately. Maybe that's what's becoming popular. It used to be hip hop, like up until recently, it seemed like hip hop was more like pop. There was like this big crossover, like Drake style. It's
Yeah.
like hip hop and pop. Whereas now we're kind of seeing more hip hop and R&B coming together.
Oh yeah.
So that was really interesting from this album. Um, but not all the songs were like that though. Like some of them were true hip hop, like Sneaky. There was no R&B in that.
Mm.
So it was like a little bit of a mix. Like maybe he was trying to appeal to multiple audiences.
Mm. Like
Like
experimenting.
no, like to make the songs more popular.
Yeah. Yeah.
So more people would listen to them. So people who usually just listen to R&B, they usually wouldn't listen to 21 Savage because they don't listen to hip hop, might listen to some of these songs if they like R&B. So he might be like drawing in this other audience.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
So yeah, that was interesting as well. Yeah, I don't know who Mariah the Scientist was. She was a good singer. I just never heard of her. And it's not really my style. That was one of the lowest. Let me see which song has the lowest plays. Well, obviously the opening track only has 15 million. That's the lowest. Let me see which actual song. It was See the Real.
Hmm.
I don't even remember it. It must have been forgettable.
Yeah. See the real. Actually, that was actually when you hear most of R&B.
Yeah, whatever it was, I didn't really like it because I would remember. It's not even sticking out in my mind. So that was the lowest. The highest was Red Drum, of course. That's got over 200 million plays.
Yeah.
That one popped off. And then the second highest is NHIE. No, it's not. Nina as the second highest with over 100 million plays. Let me see. This came out on January 12th.
Okay.
So since January 12th, I mean, that's really not that long for some of these numbers. Like 21 Savage does numbers. That's for sure. Um, all right. You gave your out of 10. Did I give my out of 10? I said 8.
Yes.
Okay. Well, there you go. Let us know what you think. If you listen to this 21 Savage album and what you thought about it in the comments. All right, welcome to another segment that we haven't done in a long time. An episode of SpongeBob that connects to real life.
Okay.
We haven't done that in forever. I don't. When was the last time we did that? I think it was like Halloween. Did we
Uh,
do a Halloween one this year?
uh
Last year?
nah, I don't
I
remember
don't know.
that.
It's been months since we did a SpongeBob. But today is as the today that we're recording. The day that we're recording this is March 31st. Tomorrow is April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
And there's an April Fool's episode of SpongeBob we gotta talk about.
Okay.
SpongeBob wakes up and it's April Fool's. And boy, does he fool around. He goes around Bikini Bottom just fooling,
Yeah. And just
pulling pranks.
yeah, say April Fools.
And not all of them were like anything interesting. He would
Yeah.
just say April Fools. And he would learn the guy
Oh
at the
yeah.
Krusty Krab. He asked
Oh
for a couple of ice cubes,
yeah, that was an
and
iconic one.
SpongeBob took it, and then he gave the drink back to him, and he's just sitting there snickering. And the guy he got really angry. He was like, you asked for a couple of ice cubes.
No, it was like three ice cubes. He like put in like two.
No, the guy asked for a couple of ice cubes.
No, I'm pretty sure it was three.
No, the guy asked for a couple of ice cubes, but he only put in one. That was the joke.
Okay. Oh, all right.
It was like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like all these little things. But what happens with Squidward? Squidward's getting angry.
Annoyed.
Squidward's just so annoyed with SpongeBob all the time. SpongeBob's just happy. Like, Squidward's just mad because he's not happy with his life. And SpongeBob is. And he doesn't like seeing how happy SpongeBob is with his life.
Yeah.
What happens?
Well, he decides to prank SpongeBob with an elaborate, well, he put together prank
Mm-hmm.
that everybody else would actually think was a really step too far.
He like really went in. Like he did harm to SpongeBob's body. He
Yes.
was like he had him like tied up to a with a rope and slamming him up against stuff.
Yeah. It's like flour.
Yeah, they go had him go through flour, had him hit walls
And then land right into a trash
and a
can.
trash can. And Squidward's the only one laughing. This was in front of all the customers at the Krusty Krab,
Yeah.
and no one thought it was funny. And SpongeBob's just crying, and it was really just too much.
Yeah.
April Fools.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think how we connect this to real life is to remember that there's going to be Squidwards out there. There's going to be people who don't want to see you happy. They want to bring you down.
Yeah. Well, there is more to the episode than that.
There was more?
Yeah, of course.
What else?
That was just actually one example. Now it's actually saying sorry, like apologize to SpongeBob, something that
Oh
he's never
yeah,
done before, and he's having a really hard time.
yeah. I don't even remember.
Yeah, he
How
tries.
did he? How did he apologize?
Well, I mean, tried saying it, but it's just like
His lips wouldn't let him.
nah. And then he tried other methods. Like he tried other methods. Um, the bottle with a letter in a bottle with
Mm.
there's no ball opener. Uh, the two cups and a string and worked because Patrick interfered with the
Yeah, he started
signal.
flossing with it. Yeah, I remember that. He was messing with the string, so it didn't work. I guess SpongeBob doesn't have a phone. No, because his lips wouldn't let him say it.
Yeah,
That was the problem. So the cans in the bottle wouldn't have even worked.
not like no, like the letter, like him writing it. I guess he could have written. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he didn't have to put it in a bottle. That's where he messed up. He wrote it, but he didn't put it in a bottle. But like this, the cans and the string wouldn't have worked because his lips wouldn't let him say it.
Well, I no, no, no. It wasn't that. It was like he couldn't say it in front of SpongeBob.
Oh, so why didn't he just call him on the phone?
Never really thought of it.
Hmm. Did he try anything else?
Well, he did say eventually say sorry. Like it's big bubble actually here after shaking it, and he said sorry, but then it wasn't really illegible
Oh.
at all. Son, Sodot didn't really understand it. So then, like, he was proud of himself to saying it, but then it was like he got the flashbacks of everybody really saying, you know, how one time before then it was like Patrick was saying how sad he was, and then all the people who were actually parading Squidward at the Krusty Krab,
Mm-hmm.
it just kind of finally got to him, where he actually finally just spilled out this big apology through the door.
Mm. And then it was all okay.
Yeah, majority of people of the Krusty Krab were actually in his house, and they all say April Fools at the end.
What was the prank? Why would they be saying April Fools?
It was also something that SpongeBob said while he was actually saying, "Oh, did you even mean it?" And then he said something else, but I don't remember what he said.
Oh, but he probably said I like you or something,
Yes,
not knowing that people were in the room.
yeah, Squidward did say that.
Hmm. In front of a bunch of people, and then it was another prank on him, and
Yeah,
then everybody's even.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to my original statement. There's people in life like Squidward. If you're happy, and there's people who are not happy, they don't like people who are happy. They want to bring you down.
Yes, yeah.
But you have to persevere through that like SpongeBob. He always pushes through and he always ends up being happy,
Oh,
no
cool.
matter who's trying to bring him down.
Yeah,
What do you think, Ricky? What's the lesson?
I guess be careful with what you do when it comes to pranking on April Fools.
Hmm.
Just
That's
don't
true.
really take it too far.
That's true.
Know the limits.
I don't really like pranks. I'm not into pranking. I don't want to get pranked. I don't really like watching prank videos either. Like unless the person's in on it, like when the couples do it, they know what's going on. But like when people prank like random people in public, I don't like that.
Mm.
I don't like that kind of stuff. Luckily, I don't know any pranksters, so I don't think I've ever been pranked. But yeah, I'm not really a fan. And it's like on April Fools, you gotta watch your back
Yeah.
if you know any pranksters.
Oh yeah, and especially on the internet like YouTube,
Hmm.
because Rick rolls exist.
Yeah, there's gonna be Rick rolls probably. Nah, I'm just not. I mean, that's harmless, but that's just annoying. But like, I don't know, going out of your way. Like I saw this video, it was really bad. But this guy, he went up to this couple. I think that it was a Walmart. They were just shopping, and he said, I have an assignment for whatever class. Can I ask you guys a couple of questions? And they were like, sure. And then he started asking like these insulting questions, like, why are you with this guy? Look at him, like stuff like that, like insulting this guy that was there with his girlfriend, and just insulting them, and fought and just wouldn't leave them alone. Like when they tried to walk away, he just kept pestering them, and then he grabbed their basket and was like fighting the guy for their basket until he completely turned it over on the ground.
Wow.
All their stuff came out, and the guy was like, you gonna pick this up? And he was like, you should pick it up, this is my stuff. He kept doubling down. And he started yelling out like, everybody, this guy took my basket and put it on the ground.
Mm.
Like it was just causing this scene. It was like ridiculous. It was annoying. It was distasteful. These people were just minding their own business, and he came up to them. I I didn't like it. I don't like pranks on people in public. I don't like pranks on workers. Uh, I don't like any of that.
And it's always at the end when things get a little bit crazy.
I remember this one prank video I saw not too long ago. I don't watch the actual videos. I watch YouTubers react to them. And there's this one where the guy this guy was, I don't know what was wrong with this kid. He was like in his 20s or whatever. He was outside, the beginning of the video is him outside with this giant like maybe paint bucket or something, this big buckets.
Yeah.
And he had gathered up excrement, put it in this
Oh,
bucket with water,
what?
and he was like mixing this big mixture, like it was like mixing Kool-Aid. He was just stirring it, and then the next frame is him going on to, I don't know, it looked like a subway or a train, and him just dumping it on to someone. It was
That's
a man and his daughter, a little girl, and he just poured this bucket on them.
oh.
This giant bucket that must have had a few gallons of poop water, and he just poured it onto them on the subway. Crazy. He got arrested though.
But
That's a crime.
wait, do you say it was just a prank, bro?
I think he forgot to say that it was just a prank.
That's what they all say. Every time there's always things get a little crazy. So it's just a prank.
Yeah,
And it's like everything's supposed to
everything's
be
supposed to
all
be it's
better.
supposed to be fine.
It's supposed to be fun.
Yeah. One more. I remember this one guy. There was a guy. He was an American that was in Mexico,
Okay.
and he decided to do this prank at I think it was like a coffee shop or a sandwich shop or something. He took the table and the chair and brought it out to there was a train track really close by. He put it on there and sat down. And then a train came and had to like stop. And it stopped like, I think it touched him. It like barely made it for him to not get run over. And then he got arrested as well. So he's an American in a Mexican prison for like 5 years for that.
Uh, wow.
It was a prank.
It's crazy.
He could have been killed. Like, what if it didn't stop? Like, what was he gonna do? He let it get so close. I swear it like nudged his arm. It was like so close, inches from just running him over. Like, if it hadn't stopped in time, he wasn't gonna get up.
Mhm.
And he was recording this too. Like he had a friend on the other side in safety recording the whole thing, which was really just proof. He really just recorded his own crime. But yeah, that was another one. Yeah, I'm not about pranks, but I think maybe I've gotten a little on a tangent here. Maybe we should wrap this one up.
All right.
April Fools. And that concludes our show for today. Take it with a grain of sand. Thank you for listening. And remember
To
to
take it with a grain of sand.
yeah, that.